guys, welcome to my channel, Among.stouts. If you're new here, my name is Samantha. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom of 4 kiddos. And in today's video, I want to share with you some read-alouds. We are doing read-alouds a lot different this year than we did last year. Last year, what I did was I purchased a really amazing set of books with intentions to have I had it all planned out when we were going to read each book. And well, let's just say by month 3, whenever I was still in the first book, or just moving into the second book, I got really discouraged. We weren't really liking the second book that we're in, and we were doing lots and lots of reading for the reading that we were doing for U.S. history with our CC, and so all of those books ended up turning into individual readers for my big kids. And so I feel like in a sense our read-alouds were kind of a fail, but I still read aloud a ton of books because they were all of our history books. Or books based on history. So this year I am just not going to start off with a great stack of books that I don't know that I'll ever get into, and instead everything I'm doing is incorporated already with our classical conversations or with our science from The Good, the Beautiful. So you already saw the science books that we're going to be reading. As far as from classical conversations, I have a science reader, which is Exploring Insects with Uncle Paul. So this is one that we'll be reading, and what I really like about this is there's a story for each week. So there's 24 weeks in CC, and you can see here, hopefully, and you can see here there's something to read for each week. So that makes it a lot easier for me, knowing that I can go straight to this book, go to the page for the week that I'm on, read that, and set it aside. And so then the same thing goes for our history reader this year, which I'm really excited about. And so this is why I'm really excited that I got those audios from Mystery of History, because I'm going to be reading for history out of the Ancient World Echoes and the Kings of Rome. And these are both put out and purchased from Classical Conversations. And so the Ancient World Echoes, this one has... let's see, this one says 24 weeks of stories from Egypt, Greece, China, Tibet, Japan, Persia, India, South Africa, and West Africa. 24 of Aesop's fables and beautiful illustrations. So each week you're going to be reading an Aesop fable, and then there's 2 stories that are from like the ancient, whatever part of the ancient world that you're in. So depending on the week, depends on what you read. Each week there's 3 different stories that you're reading. So that is perfect. And then the Kings of Rome says 22 stories of Roman kings and conquests with beautiful illustrations. So this one doesn't have the full 24 weeks, but this is a way for my kids to learn more about some of the people of ancient history. So I'm really excited that I have these 3 books, because these all specifically go with classical conversations with each week. They're all picked out for me already. They're all broken down by week already. And so it just takes off all of the pressure from me going in and going into the Foundations Guide and looking at every week, and then going and searching for books to match with that, which is what I did for Cycle 3 in 2020. I went through every week, and then I found books to match with every week, and then I purchased all of those books. So this saves me time, it saves me money, and it takes all the guesswork out of it. So I'm really, really excited to be adding these as our read-alouds this year. So the other books that I have as read-alouds, these I am planning, again, I'm reading out of those, and so these are some that I'm planning to read aloud, but I also am leaving myself the room and the flexibility to just assign these to my 2 big kids. So these are books that I got off of the IEW Ancient Based History Writing Lessons book list. So these are directly from the book list from their IEW curriculum. So it isn't really necessary for my younger to hear these. Like, it would be good, but if I don't have the time, I don't feel bad if I just assign it to one of them. If you guys saw my son's 6th grade curriculum picks, you already know that he has a study guide for this book. So I really don't feel bad if I end up not being able to read this aloud and I just assign it to him. So I'll go ahead and tell you guys what books we are planning to read aloud that I'm giving myself some grace and flexibility with. So the first one is The Bronze Bow. And I'll go ahead and read these so you guys can get an idea of what these are about. After witnessing his father's crucifixion by Roman soldiers, Daniel Bar Jamin is fired by a single passion: to avenge his father's death by driving the Roman legions from the land of Israel. Consumed by hatred, Daniel joins the brutal raids of an outlaw band living in the hills outside his village. Though his grandmother's death slows his plans by forcing him to move home to care for his sister, he continues his dangerous life by leading a group of boy guerrillas in spying and plotting, impatiently waiting to take revenge. In nearby Capernaum, a rabbi is teaching a different lesson. Time and again, Daniel is drawn to the teachings of Jesus of Nazareth, only to turn away, disappointed and confused by Jesus' lack of action in opposing the Romans. Devoid of tenderness and forgiveness, headstrong Daniel is also heedless of the loyalty of his friend Joel, the love of Joel's sister Malthace, and the needs of his own disturbed sister Leah, dragging them down his destructive path toward disaster. So that is the bronze bow. And then we have who was Julius Caesar, who was Alexander the Great, and then I have who was King Tut. So those are the last people books, and then back to the stories. So the next story that I have is the Golden Goblet, and this one says, Ranifer wants only one thing in the world: to be a master goldsmith like his beloved father was. But how can he when he is all but imprisoned by his evil half-brother Gebu? Ranifer knows the only way he can escape Gebu's abuse is by changing his destiny. But can a poor boy with no skills survive on the cutthroat streets of ancient Thebes? Then Ranifer finds a priceless golden goblet in Gebu's room, and he knows his luck and his destiny are about to change. So that's the Golden Goblet. And then last but not least, I have Mara, daughter of the Nile. And I think that my daughter would probably really enjoy reading this one if I don't get to it. So this one says, a compelling story of adventure, romance, and intrigue set in ancient Egypt. Mara is a proud and beautiful slave girl who yearns for freedom. In order to gain it, she finds herself playing the dangerous role of double spy for two arch enemies, each of whom supports a contender for the throne of Egypt. Against her will, Mara finds herself falling in love with one of her masters, the noble Sheftu, and she starts to believe in his plans of restoring Thutmose III to the throne. But just when Mara is ready to offer Sheftu her help and heart, her duplicity is discovered, and a battle ensues in which both Mara's life and the fate of Egypt are at stake. So that's Mara, daughter of the Nile. Okay, and so then the last thing that I have is something that I thought would be fun to add into our morning, probably at the beginning when we're talking all about animals and things, and even whenever we're just doing the nature readers and stuff like that. This is something that I picked up from the Teach Them Diligently conference from the Shining Light Press Company, and the book is Created Critter with Wings. And then I got the enrichment packet for that. So this will just give me like a means to be able to extend such a cute small book, but rather than just reading it, I'm able to expand on it and just have really good questions and activities for my kiddos to do. I got just the one book, so I'll probably have to take it apart and make copies, but this is something that all of my kids can do, from my 6 almost 7-year-old to even my son. He could do some of these activities as well. If you guys enjoyed seeing all the things that we are going to be doing together as a family, please go ahead and give me a like. If you aren't already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit subscribe. I'd love to have you here as a part of my community, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.